Now Venum is officially this UFC sponsor.
Yeah, and I like the stuff.
Oh my god, I saw the video that they put up, and then I got to see the fight wear firsthand on Saturday, and I was like, I like it. I like it better. I mean, Venum. The thing that I wanted to tell you about. Do you remember back in the early days of the UFC when a fighter could like promote their own their businesses or their friends' businesses on their own sponsors? And then back when they were fighting, they would have that little banner that they would hang over their corner and have.
I'm not allowed that anymore.
You know, because they don't. And then when Reebok came in, they got rid of all that. You know.
Well, some old like MMA, pro MMA shows in like Canada and America, you weren't allowed to put it on your shorts, but they didn't have any legislation to have it painted on yourself. So if you look back in old fights with GSP actually has sponsors painted on his back.
Really?
Yeah, while he's fighting. Yeah. So, and then later on in the UFC, they allow sponsors. And you remember they have all kinds of, they're sponsored by Muscle Farm, they're sponsored by tons of different companies, right? And then Reebok came in and said, look, that's not possible. We're not going to do that. And essentially,
it killed the competition.
It cut the competition in half for sure, but it also cut their pay severely because a lot of people were making more money from their sponsors than their actual fights, right? And by having those banners and the on their shorts, it was good for business. It was good for them.
Yeah, not even that, but it was good for the big names too, because obviously the bigger you are, the more hype you get, the more sponsors you have. Like one point, John Jones was sponsored by Nike.
Yeah, and then he lost it.
Yeah, and he lost it. Yeah.
He lost it.
Yeah, he lost it. But I think it was, I respected the idea that they could have like some small businesses. Like if your friend's got a business, and he's looking for sponsors and, if he rocked up on X's shorts in front of hundreds of thousands of people, and then he does like something on Instagram saying he endorses the company. Hey, this is my mate's company. I'm proud of him. He does this. What he does is legit. That's big for business. That would jack it up. But I don't know if Venom's ever going to let them bring back, because Venum used to be one of the sponsors on those shorts.
Yeah, used to be one of the sponsors of the UFC, but now they are the official main sponsor of the UFC, which means, look, it's a tough issue, because the thing is, and the sponsors are a funny issue, right? Because if you always see Israel Adesanya at the press conferences, you'll notice if he sits down, he sees a Monster can, he'll pick the Monster can and he'll put it underneath the table, right?
Because
not sponsored by Monster.
It doesn't.
Right, and there's always the issue with Hans Hollenkamp, which is the issue with him with Dominic Cruz, how he was pressuring people. You have to build up my social media, otherwise fuck your payments. You're not getting your sponsorship payments, right? And it kind of coerced fighters into getting their payments by giving this guy social gratitude and media, right? And a lot of fighters have taken issue with that. If they've got the Monster can right next to them at the press conference, right? And they're speaking, it's free publicity with their name attached to it for Monster, but they're not actually branded with Monster, right? So they'll move the can away.
I mean, Monster's one of the biggest sponsors in the UFC, though. Like they're right in the middle of the fucking canvas. Like
yeah, and the UFC is sponsored by Proper 12. Proper 12 doesn't sponsor the fighters. We've got Modelo, doesn't sponsor
Brew for the fighting spirit.
Brew with the fighting spirit. I always think of John Anik with that
official protein snack.
And there's Trifecta, right? But the only way Trifecta and things like that come through is like maybe in fight week they'll give the fighters food, and apparently it tastes like shit but don't know. I'm only going off what I think it was Kevin Holland, what he said it tastes like shit, but who knows. Kevin Holland's not always the best source of information, right? He could just be talking shit, but it's an issue now, because now there's a sole main sponsor now moving from Reebok to Venum again. It's still, I don't think fighters will ever be able to make that kind of money that they used to back in the days prior to Reebok. And it is a shame. The only thing I see, there's a couple of things I see good out of the Venum sponsor is I like their stuff way more than Reebok, right? I thought Reebok made good stuff, right? But Venum is a combat sports brand, right? And that's what makes it a way better. Like Engage, all these different companies, they're solely on fight wear, and that's their niche, and they're very good at it, right? Reebok moves around, sponsors all kind of stuff, CrossFit, everything. This is their niche kind of sponsor, and I think that's good. Another thing is the amount of money that they make for the fighter makes by being sponsored by Venum is their pay goes up a little bit.
Yeah.
It goes up. I don't know how much. I think it's as much as maybe 5,000 USD.
Yeah.
Right. A little bit of difference. Not dramatic.
Not too much. But one thing they have done, they haven't fucked up the names of any of the fighters.
No,
Because
good.
that was like when Reebok came in, they fucked up all the names. Like
They fucked a few people. I mean that's the worst way to piss off a fighter if you
Yeah.
get their name wrong.
Well, some of the just to play devil's advocate, some fighters, I'm not saying insulting them, but their names are quite hard to pronounce and quite hard to
Polish and Russian names.
yeah, like Joanna Jacek.
That
Took a couple of practices to get.
That one's not the hard one. The other Polish name is the guy that fought Modestus Bukauskas, and it was Mikhail Alexei Jacek.
There you go.
The Jaceks.
Well done.
It's Alexei Jacek. It's brutal, right? And then
Getting better at then pronouncing.
yeah, but then there's the Russian ones like Makachev, Nurmagomedov, things like that.
Yeah.
But they do take a couple of seconds to get right, and if they've typed that on and it comes up on their work uniforms, that's a good way to piss off
Fighter.
a fighter because they'll be like, oh, okay,
Yeah.
all right.
I'm representing you. You can't even spell my name.
Well, the thing is, imagine if they did McGregor, but they did it the Scottish way, MacGregor.
Oh.
Imagine if they spelt it with a Mac. McGregor would burn it, all right? And let's be real, he would burn it, and if he burnt it, then their sales would plummet, right? Someone with a big name like Connor. So, as long as it seems like they've learned some mistakes from Reebok, and they've made a niche fight wear that's very, it's very sleek, and it all works really well. I like it. I like Venum, and I think most of the fighters enjoy it, but fighters will say whatever. Whoever pays the bills, they'll say, yeah, it's way better than Reebok. Yeah. And then if Reebok comes in afterwards, they'll be like, oh, fuck, it's way better than Venum. So I honestly, from first glance, we haven't seen it in person, but at first glance, I like it a lot more. It looks so much more professional and sleek.
Yeah.
I think it's cool that Venum is sponsoring the UFC again.